Do you think people pleasing is the opposite of being a CEO? Like one is weak and the other one is powerful? But what if I told you that these two actually start from the same place? Both are aware of people, both work hard, both take responsibility, but one is driven by disapproval while the other is driven by vision and clarity. The same kind of skills that makes you do everything for other people, bend yourself backward for them, are the exact same skills, if we refine them, can help you run a company, lead a team, or actually get respected instead of being overlooked. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel where we talk about things that you have been shushing away. And in today's video, we will talk about your shameful secret of people pleasing and actually turning it inwards and making it your weapon. On the very surface, on the top, the CEO mentality and the people pleasing mentality, they seems all the way to the opposite ends. One, you might think that, oh, this was
leadership. Oh, this is the power. This is how they decide. They know what they're doing. While the people pleaser, they don't even have what it takes. They're just pleasing people. They're just avoiding. They're just looking for approval. How is that CEO? CEO never looks for approval.
So today, I'm going to tell you the entire video how we are going to make those habits and flip the entire narrative into power making moves. Maybe you think that this thing that you have, the disease that you have, which I call it a disease because it is. It has been a disease for me for 31 years. Now, you may think that it makes you weak. But actually, if you have to look it into the right context, you actually have a raw material, a raw power for leadership. You are tuned into others, you care about other people, you care about outcomes, you are willing to work hard. The only problem is that you are taking that energy, you're pointing all that energy at staying safe instead of leading. You're using that light on other people. You're making sure that they are okay. You are also checking, you are pointing all that energy at staying safe instead of leading. You know, you're always scanning people's mood, their tone, how they're speaking, if they're irritated, if they are annoyed by anything. And at the same time, you're also working extra. So no one else is upset. You are saying yes even when you want to say no and you're exhausted. That is weakness. I know that. We are going to use that as a fuel to power our new goal, that is to become a CEO. There are certain points where they meet, but at the same time, you have to stop doing certain things. You cannot just go into these points that I'm going to tell you and assume that it will automatically change up your life. It is never a linear process. Growth is never a linear process. You have to circle back. You will start from zero, and some days you will find yourself back to zero again. But the main focus is to not self blame, to have some compassion for yourself. I have been saying this, and this is the goal of my channel, that is to be kind to yourself. When you do self talk, do it nicely. Do not hate your voice whenever you hear on other people's video. Do not look at your flaws when you look in the mirror. Do not count yourself as less as compared to other. Whenever you do that, your self-worth erodes. So CEO mentality and people pleasing habits meet. Number one is high awareness of others. You know how we are sensitive of other people? We are sensitive that, okay, they changed their tone today. We are going to make that our emotional intelligence weapon. As a people pleaser, your sensitivity is like having a radar. And we pick up all the emotional signals like tone changes, sigh, the silences, the irritation. We know that. And the problem is that currently you turn that radar inward. And you assume that if something is wrong, it must be me. That is where the suffering comes from. That is where it starts. The bad thing starts. Let me tell you this thing very clearly. The CEO shift don't need to get rid of sensitivity, but we need to sharpen it. We need to stop taking moods personally, and we have to start treating them as data. By data, I mean you look at other people's mood and you do not automatically assume that it's an accusation for you, that is a rejection for you. If someone moves this off, you do not automatically think that, oh, it must be because of me. And you do not go back to that old loop of checking everything that you have done in order to displease them. We take it as data. We observe it. We say to ourselves, oh, their mood is off. Must be something in their life. I don't know. But you do not scan it. You do not absorb it. You use it to guide your next step. And you do not make it about self-worth. So someone looks stressed. That is an information. That is not a proof that you have failed. This is what is the difference between being in the storm, like inside of it, and like observing it from the outside. You're just imagine that you're having an umbrella and you're watching the storm pass by. You're not inside the storm. So number 2 is anticipating needs, and we are changing that to strategic thinking. You know how we are natural mind readers? We might not be 100% accurate because of our anxiety, but we are natural mind readers. We are always one step ahead. We are always ready with something in order to look for approval from other people. I remember one day I had a coffee ready for one of my colleagues, so as to, so that he can say, oh, Sanjana, you're so nice. But I always made sure that the desk is clean. That is not my responsibility. I'm not a cleaner, but I still made it sure. I still made sure that, all the emails were sent, all the papers are in right order. It was not my responsibility to make him coffee. I did it. We are not on good terms. I did it because I was seeking approval. We want to avoid rejection by other people. Somehow we want to do that, and we name it as niceness. So the CEO shift is not about using the same foresight for strategy. The CEO insight is about using the same foresight for strategy. Instead of saying that, oh, I'll do this, I'll do that, and thinking that they will like me, it becomes, what is the smart move that prevents issues or drive results? So what you're doing, you're using your imagination of thinking ahead. But your outcome right now is not about other people liking you. It's about driving results. But the outcome is not about people liking you. It's about running things smoother and the goals being met. So we are moving from this thing of pleasing to planning for impact. The third one is conflict avoidance. And we are using this to do the conflict navigation. For us, the conflict, the fights, the confrontation, raised voices, disagreement, even a tense silence can make the nervous system go from run or hide. So what do? We stay silent, we try to smooth things over, we try to give in, we try to overcompensate. CEO don't see conflict or confrontation as danger. They see it as a data or opportunity. So you know how this confrontation, how this talking to someone like conflict is often where truth sits. So they do not avoid it. They ask, what is really going on here? And how can we get more clarity to go forward? And it's not about enjoying the conflict, but it's not about being afraid of it. If you have to ask someone questions, you have to ask the questions. You have to ask in a way that is a CEO mentality that helps you navigate towards the issue or the problem and lead to the solution. This is what we are doing. From silencing ourselves for a safety, we are actually trying to speak up for a progress. And the progress can actually be yourself. The progress is not just meeting oriented. Progress here can be, the project is you. You're trying to improve yourself. So how can we speak up for better version of Sanjana from 2 years now? So if I think that way and someone tries to disrespect me, or if I have to talk to them, okay, what can we do? I see that as data. I see that as information that is coming. I don't see it as a conflict. If someone is trying to point out my mistakes, I will try to correct them. So the fourth one is overgiving for people pleaser, and we are turning it into value creation. You know how people pleaser always overextend? How we say yes to extra tasks, how we stay late, how we overdeliver. Because deep down inside ourselves, we think that it will eventually or finally prove my worth. But the result is always exhaustion, resentment, often being overlooked because others get used to the free effort that you're putting. CEO also give, but they give differently. They give where it matters. They know that their energy is resource. So they invest in areas that actually create value, solve problems, guiding teams, building ideas. It's a difference between throwing water everywhere or watering the roots. So, last one is approval seeking. So, we are not seeking approval, but we are setting our visions and our standards. So, for people like me, people like you, our fuel is approval. We constantly scan for gold stars, we constantly scan for smiles, for praises, for assurance. Without it, we are lost. Our worth is tied to other people's reaction, which is true in so many cases. Once you start to observe your behavior, you will see that there is something wrong with you. What does CEO do? They do not chase approval, they set direction. They hold a vision and they claim, they assert that here is what we're going to do and this is the standard. If their self worth, it comes from clarity of purpose, not from other people mood. They clarify, they say, if you like it, okay. If you don't, you can move ahead. I know we struggle to say no. We take time to imagine that no means rejection. If I say no, they think I'm selfish or mean. So, what we do, we overload ourselves, we burn out ourselves, and we quietly resent it. You know what CEO does? They know the opposite. They say yes to dilute focus. The power of no is what protects them, their time, their energy. A no is never a rejection. A no is a direction. And when you say it, it means I know what I'm building and I won't scatter myself then. What about the voice that push back? The what if voice that you have inside your head? People pleaser, we listen to the voice a lot. But what if I stop people pleasing? What if I become selfish? Won't they stop liking me? What if I say the wrong thing? What if they judge me? Maybe it's safer to save quiet. No, you're not losing kindness, you're just being strategic. And using all that information, you're becoming a CEO and they care, but they also show boundaries. They also have to make tough calls that are part of real respect. So, what to do actually? Acknowledge that voice, but don't obey it. Say that, okay, you are there, I acknowledge you. You have to treat that voice as a small, very cautious advisor, not as a boss of your choices. Hear the voice. You say that my brain is worried about being judged. Question it if this is helping me reach my goal and decide anyway. So I'm going to move forward. If I want to eat pizza, I'll have to go outside to eat pizza. I'm going to move forward, even if the voice complains. So next time you catch yourself people pleasing, pause and ask, am I doing this to avoid rejection or to drive results? If I were a CEO of my own life, what would I choose now? If this helped you, drop a comment with one people pleasing habit you're ready to flip. And you don't forget to subscribe for more of these real talk with me. Thank you so much. See you next time.